And hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for this conversation on teamwork. We're joined today by Lindsey Browning, Director of Medicaid Programming at the National Association of Medicaid Directors. Lindsey, thank you so much for joining us. We're glad that you can share your wisdom with us.
Thanks for having me.
Our first question for you is, can you please introduce yourself, including your role and your organization?
Sure. So my name is Lindsey Browning. I am the Director of Medicaid Programming at the National Association of Medicaid Directors. And my organization, the National Association of Medicaid Directors, is a nonprofit membership association. So we are an organization where state Medicaid directors from all across the country can join and benefit from learning from each other and from programming and support that we offer. So my role in the organization is to help them do just that, to help them learn from one another and improve the ways in which the Medicaid program delivers healthcare to 1 in 4 Americans.
Wonderful, thank you. My second question for you today is, which career readiness competency are you going to discuss, and how does NACE define this competency?
Yeah, so I picked teamwork to discuss because this is probably the most critical competency in my day-to-day work, and one that I think is really important to develop early and often when you're in college. The NACE definition of teamwork is build and maintain collaborative relationships to work effectively towards common goals while appreciating diverse viewpoints and shared responsibilities.
Wonderful. Let's dive in a little bit deeper on that. How does this competency and a couple of the sample behaviors presented by NACE show up in your daily work, your industry, the thing you do?
Yeah, so working in any membership association or membership organization really requires a lot of teamwork. No one person in my organization can do their job effectively without collaborating and working well with others on the team. So I picked a recent example of a project I'm working on to help illustrate why this competency is so important. So I am right now planning a workshop for state Medicaid teams in Chicago next month. It involves many parts of our organization to come up with the idea, what are we trying to achieve through this meeting, to get the invitations out the door, to get a hotel secured, and then to deliver the 2 days of programming and content for the people who are going to attend it. One of the sample behaviors that shows up here in this particular example is listening to others carefully. We have weekly meetings as a team to plan this workshop, and everyone has a different piece of the picture. And I have to listen to what everybody has to offer and to say. You know, maybe they see a problem with the hotel that I don't see. Maybe they see a problem with how we're structuring the agenda for this workshop. So it's important to listen to what others are saying every time when I sit down and work together as a team. The second sample behavior that I want to flag is being accountable for deliverables. Yes, it's a team effort, but at the end of the day, I'm responsible for making sure everything happens and on time. And so working with the team in a clear, consistent way to have that happen is super important. And then the third sample behavior I would say is employing the strengths, knowledge, and talent of others. Some people on the team are highly organized and bring great project management skills. Others have deep content knowledge. Other folks are highly creative and innovative in solving problems. But it's important for me to recognize that each person has a different set of talents, and you're going to work better together as a team if you leverage each of those talents and recognize them.
Wonderful, thank you. And you have a unique perspective on this final question as an alumna from McDaniel. What can students do now while in college to further develop this competency and be a stronger candidate for future roles?
So this is not going to be popular advice because I know everybody hates group projects, but group projects are one of the key ways to develop this competency early. I remember those days of being frustrated because somebody wasn't carrying their weight, or it was hard to get it done on time when you're coordinating with a team. but it's such a great place to begin to apply some of these principles. So, the principle of employing everyone's strengths. Figure out what different people on the group project are excited about, what pieces they're most interested in, what skill sets they can bring to the table, and really leverage and use those together. Create that shared accountability for deliverables in the group project. Again, everyone's work, you're not in control of everyone's work, but ultimately you're accountable and responsible for it getting delivered on. So you can create that clarity of how you're going to get there, how you're going to do that. And that's just such a great skill to practice, and is something that you'll use every day, almost every day, no matter what your career ends up being.
Wonderful. Thank you, Lindsey, so much for sharing not only what you do, but of course, sharing how teamwork shows up every single day in the projects that you work and lead. So thank you again so much, and we really appreciate your time today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.